Last presentation of this session, of this track. It's by Lucas from Research Now, and I think you will talk about integrating all kinds of data sources into something that delivers magic.
Thanks, Tom. What Tom hasn't explained, and your play run will tell you, is that you should be listening to Melanie Courtwright right now, and I can positively confirm that I am not Melanie Courtwright. She, unfortunately, was unwell at the end of last week and has asked me to stand in for her, so I'm hoping to do you all justice, and anybody that was looking forward to speaking to her, I'm afraid I'm going to have to be your stand-in. She did want me to apologize on her behalf, and she also wanted me to mention that how much the IIeX is one of her favorite conferences of the year, and she's obviously disappointed not to be here. Further to that, what I haven't kind of alluded to already is that I received notification that I needed to speak on Monday lunchtime, and at that stage there wasn't a presentation. So I'm going to ask you to forgive me the notes that I'm going to refer to on my laptop here. But I will make you one promise, and I've set an objective that Tom's not going to stand up before I finish my presentation. So bear with me, I know it's a coffee break, and hopefully I'll have something interesting to share with you. So I want to start by taking you on a journey. I need you to suspend your disbelief and imagine me in a non-too-distant future. It's a Friday night. The week is over. I've left the office and I've headed to the pub. As we go through the story, I will try and identify key data points on my journey. So whilst I'm in the pub, I make a number of different purchases. Cash is a thing of the past. So all my purchases are made via contactless on my phone. When I make these purchases, we know the time of day, the purchases that I've made, the retailer that I'm making them in, the location of that, the frequency of the transaction, and the nature of them. So using this information, my phone can really get a sense of quite how drunk I might be. As the night comes to an end, I'm thinking about getting home. There are a number of different routes home for me, and a number of different transport modes. My phone, in this case, knows the time of day again. It knows the location. It understands my direction of travel and the speed at which I am going. It also can make an assessment of the mode of transport, certainly if I'm making another payment. Now, it doesn't just have the real-time data it's collecting there and then. My phone has been following me around for some time now. And it can estimate from my previous behavior what my likely destinations will be. It may even be able to extrapolate how long the journey is going to take me. Now, that doesn't have to be my historic data. It doesn't have to be my phone. It could be any number of the university friends that I live with who have the same characteristics, be it demographic, attitudinal, and behavioral. The phone doesn't need to focus on me. And for the purposes of my story, I can tell you that my Friday night behavior is fairly predictable. 2 weeks ago, exactly the same situation occurred. I went to the pub, I made a few purchases, I had a couple of beers with my friends, and then I headed home. Now, that was 2 weeks ago. I also stopped at a convenient pizza shop on my way home, following the same level of alcohol consumption. Now, that particular pizza shop in the near future, I'm going to call it Checkers for the purposes of my illustration, has a new cutting-edge technology. This technology receives and interprets the data points that I'm triggering throughout my Friday night. As it receives this data, it starts to predict quite how likely it is that I'll visit Checkers, this pizza shop. The prediction is updated in real time each time a new data point is received. And at a predefined threshold, it alerts the pizza shop owner of where I am and the likely proximity I will be to the shop. It identifies the likelihood of me making a purchase at the shop, and it can also predict my likely time of arrival. Based on other assumptions and more historic data, the shop owner can receive an indication of what I'm likely to want, so the detail of my likely purchase, so which pizza does Luke want this evening, and then actually it can trigger an encouragement for the owner of the pizza shop to take action. They might choose to cook my favorite pizza. It's a risk, but with the data they've got, I may be walking through the door at any moment. They might contact me and ask me, what pizza would you like this evening, Luke? Alternatively, they might actually deploy fairly tailored marketing. So we return to me, heading towards the pizza shop. They took the risk. They cooked the pepperoni pizza that I had last time. They even included the extra cheese that I mentioned in my feedback. And as before, money doesn't change hands, but it's taken automatically, and we have another satisfied customer. Thank you for indulging me on that illustration. It's not necessarily new news. It could have been any number of different routes through my Friday evening, picking up the different data points that I'm generating as I travel through my evening. And we know that elements of this are already in place. We heard Jeff mention Uber. This last weekend, when I got an Uber taxi, it astounded me that as I got into the cab, I was able to sync my phone, my Spotify account, with the sound system of the taxi car and play my choice of music. I really think this is something that's coming together. And I acknowledge that I've only described one specific route. The alternative I was thinking about was actually, is there maybe a healthcare app that's monitoring my payments too? The healthcare app knows that I'm possibly drinking one too many, and maybe there's even a competition on my phone between the apps, fighting it out in some kind of Angry Birds style effort for my concentration and my attention. So it all comes from the effective measurement, understanding, and prediction. The consumer benefits of my story, for me, are quite overwhelming. It really is a quick purchase, it's easy, it's convenient, and that customer experience is super tailored and really relevant. It's bespoke and context-driven for me as a consumer. And as I said, it's all made possible by the effective measurement, understanding, and prediction of my behavior. Now, for some people, that probably sounds like a bit of a nightmare. It conjures up images of Skynet from Terminator or Vicky from iRobot. My brother, who is particularly hot on data privacy and civil liberties, would tell you that just by predicting my behavior, we're inadvertently forcing me to pursue that path. In this particular story, encouraging me to eat more pizza and possibly gain a few pounds. But I actually see synthesized data as a far more powerful tool. It's really, the benefits massively speak to me as a consumer, and I think it's full of opportunities. And as I said, it does all start with that effective measurement of behavior. So at Research Now, we're already working to bring different data sources and measurement tools together to provide a greater level of insight. This isn't new. The marketing applications, however, that are spawned from this kind of data collection are becoming more sophisticated and impactful, and we need to as well. In addition to the survey data that we collect and the profiling information that we hold, a portion of our panelists have agreed to share with us details of their digital behavior across their different devices. We can collect the information about the sites that they visit, the nature of these sites, the sequence that brought them there, including search terms, the number of times they viewed the site, the time they spent on that site in particular. Through our mobile app, we also capture this behavior on a smartphone. We pick up all the app use, what they're using, how often they're using it, how long they're using it for, and where does that app use come in the sequence of all of this behavior. So in conjunction with the survey data, we combine actual behavior with the respondents' feedback. We're capturing this information across different devices using what we've observed and what we've asked, combining what we already know, be it client data or previous profiling information, with that which we can observe and that information for which we can ask. It really does present a great opportunity to aid our understanding and make better marketing decisions. I know I'm not the first to identify the potential in research represented by a synthesized data future, and I'm absolutely certain I won't be the last. But I have seen the power of this approach in combination with survey data, and if we ask the right questions, focus on the data that matters, and then my hypothetical future may well become the template for future marketing. Thank you.
Thank you, Luke. Last opportunity to score some points and to go up in the leaderboard. Questions? Who has a question? Nobody? Then I will ask one. Are you also making use of the sensors that are built in smartphones nowadays to collect additional data apart from tracking what people do on the web?
So we are certainly looking at using more of the data that's collected. There's clear challenges about how you make that meaningful and how you use it most effectively. Certainly in the past we've been looking at even how many pictures have been taken, calls, and those sorts of things. So absolutely using the other sensors as the technology evolves, we're continuously looking to integrate that into the data collection, but it has to be meaningful. It can't just be for the sake of it.
Cool, great. Give him a round of applause. Thank you.